the Robert Henderson Jr. Show, featuring Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner and president of the Henderson Financial Group. Understanding money. It's all about the money. Understanding money. It's all about the money.
Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. This is Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach, live in the beautiful studios of the Henderson Financial Group Studios. Yes. And joining me live here is my wonderful, talented sister-in-law, business partner, the vice president of the Henderson Financial Group.
Speaking. I'm getting that promotion yet.
Lynda V. Harris. How you doing, sister-in-law?
I'm doing great, Robert.
Yes.
I really am doing great today. How you doing?
Hey, yes, I'm doing marvelous. Got a great show lined up for everybody today. I got a great, after the show, man, I tell you, we got a lot of things to be doing here in the office.
Good deal.
As a matter of fact, after our show, usually James T. and I come on at 10:30, but we're going to swap out with Hyacinth and Tavares. So we're going to come on at 9:15 today and go to 10:15.
It's great when you have a team and you can switch things up.
All day.
Yes.
And then we got Hyacinth and Tavares coming on at 10:30 to 11:30. And I think that's it for today, huh?
And then tomorrow, of course, we got Baggage Claim.
Baggage Claim, my daughter Jasmine, my youngest daughter Jasmine, and my nephew Charles. They come on right before 60 Minutes. They come on at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock hour.
And they're going to be talking about stocks also, understanding stocks to their peer group.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely.
And then we have Tavares and Antonio with the men's thing, Uprising. That comes on every Wednesday at 7.
Good deal.
And then Hyacinth and myself, we just started doing a pop-up father and daughter 12 o'clock noon every Wednesday, man. You got to check it out, Lynda. Yeah, we just started that.
I absolutely should.
Okay. All right, so your weekend is all set up, lined up?
Oh, yeah. I woke up this morning. It was a beautiful rainbow right outside my door.
It was pouring outside my door.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Raining.
Yeah, it's been very busy, but it's been tough but fair.
Look at your earrings. I love your earrings there.
Well, thank you very much.
Such a fashionado, aren't you? Fascerito, what do they call it?
Speaking of which, I left for your daughter her mink shawl and leather pants. I hung it on your door.
I got 3 daughters. Which daughter?
Jasmine.
Okay, the baby daughter.
Yeah.
What, a mink? South Florida, you a mink?
We had a couple of 40 degrees.
Oh,
so
yeah. It went down to 50 degrees. You put on a mink. 50 degrees and you go get a mink and put on, right? Okay. All right, listen. Today's show, we're going to be talking about all of us are in show business. Whether you know it or not, we're all in show business. Would you say that?
100%.
And a lot of people
100%.
They don't look at it like that, but we are. Mm-hmm. I remember when I watched the James Brown story. You ever watched that movie?
I have. Was it Boswick,
yes,
the gentleman? Yeah.
Yes, it was Chaz Boswick. He played that. That was very good.
That was really good.
But I got a lot out of that movie. Mm-hmm. When I watch movies, I actually see 2 things or 3 things going on. I really do, metaphorically. I always look at it like that. Not just the entertainment part, but the business part, you know? Mm-hmm. And you remember that scene, Lynda, where James Brown said, he was talking to his manager because all of a sudden he was out there doing his whole James Brown thing, and the money kept coming up short. And he wanted more money. He went to the manager, his business partner, and say, listen, he started complaining about, hey, why we don't have no money?
Right.
Where my money, And the guy said, listen, James, you are the show. I am the biz. Don't you worry about this business. You go do what you do. Make the crowd happy.
Wow.
Be your part. Be the show, and I'll take care of the business. And at that time, Mr. Brown had an epiphany, and he said, I need to know more about the business, not just the show, because that's where the bread and butter is. That's where the money, that's where the guts is, And I want to say, the top reason why I want to talk about that is because I've noticed, metaphorically, in each of our lives, there are 2 parts. There's the show part where it looks good, but there's the part that you don't see that really matters. That's the business part. You agree?
There's the show part that looks good. Let's break that down.
Yes.
If you define the show part that looks good, there's a part where we are dealing in our everyday lives. We get up, we brush our teeth, we comb our hair, we put on pretty earrings, we put on the big ring. That's not necessarily show.
Why would you? That's all what people see. So break that down to me. Why isn't that necessarily show? Because that's what people see with their naked eyes when you present yourself.
It is you being a responsible part of society and putting on clothes. Otherwise, we would come out with no clothes. So you just literally doing what a responsible part of society is, which is putting on clothes. Now, you got some people that do the show and that do all out when they really can't afford it, and then they really do, with the bins and they 25 and then all that show. But for a lot of us, it's just who we are, and it's just part of.
Oh, this is a good show for you. I'm just going to. You're getting ready to be born again right here on this show and live. It's a good show for you.
True.
It is true.
Oh, that's what you say.
Yeah, I'm saying about you. You're getting ready to be born again because I'm getting ready. You're getting ready to have an epiphany, so I can explain this whole born again, this whole.
So you can explain it based on your interpretation.
Oh, here you go again with your safe house. This is where I feel, Robert. But this is where I feel. This is the way I feel,
You have to give room for others to have an opinion. Everything is not solid because you interpret it that way.
Okay, it was. Right now it's daylight. Is that my opinion? Or
that's a bad example. We're simply talking about things that are subjective and that can be interpreted. Of course, daylight and night cannot be. It's not subject to interpretation. It's either day or night.
Some people it is.
Okay, we're gonna have this kind of show.
All right. So I'm gonna explain to you, and I'm glad this is real talk.
This is real talk. Absolutely.
Okay. The show deals with the naked eye. The show deals with presentation. Regardless how you put your makeup and all that, you're still preparing for the show. You're preparing for when you come out and someone lays eyes on you. Like I came and I said, "Hey, Lynda, those are nice earrings. That's a nice blouse." That's part of your show. That's who you want to represent. You might be.
I think that statement is what I have a little issue with.
Why? It's a beautiful statement. It's a fact, and that's a fact.
I don't like the wording and interpretation. That's a part of your show, and that's a part of what you want to put out there. It's just me getting dressed and coming out here in the morning.
No,
it's not a show.
No, but you're talking literally what happens.
But there are some people who literally put on the show, so we have to talk about
that. We all put on the show.
I think that's where we kind of.
That's right. But we all put on a show. We all are in show business.
Okay.
When I stepped out of the house, as soon as I woke up and I came and you saw me the first time you laid eyes on me, you had an opinion whether you wanted to say it or not, but you looked at me. And you said, "Okay, I got this warm up on. Why is he getting that on or whatever?" I mean, you looked at me.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's Robert's show. I wouldn't necessarily say he put that on to present. When you say show, it's presenting something you're not.
No, that's not true.
Okay,
that's not true.
Okay, all right, but then I think a good.
Right, I told you, you're getting ready to come out as we talk to the audience. I'm gonna bring you up part two.
You're not, and
no, it's not that you're not.
Okay, then that's.
It's not that you're not.
A little more acceptable.
So you think I'm saying like being a fake or phony? I am basically saying there's two components. Mm-hmm. There's a show part of what we do, and there's a business part always of what we do and who we are.
Okay.
There's a show part of what we show people, mm-hmm. and there's a business part.
Okay.
Everything. There is not anything that you can lay your eyes on or even think about doesn't have a show part and a business part.
Okay.
Are you with me? Okay, I'm going to win you over before the show. I'm going to win her over, hopefully. Otherwise, she could be Lynda and just be tight and stubborn and like, no, you're not going to change my mind. Okay, well, maybe. Okay.
Comments, please have them come in. I think I may need your help today on this one. 305-825-1444 is the phone number. But I think I may need you this morning with this topic. But we shall see.
But let me break it down to you like a 6-year-old, okay? Let me break it down. Let me make it simple. So hear me out.
All right. Yes, sir.
When I see you, that's the show part. The business part, I don't really know what else is taking place in your life. Mm-hmm. I don't really know what you had to go through to even present yourself that show. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's the business part. Mm-hmm. Let me finish. I'm gonna bring it on home. Mm-hmm. when you look at a beautiful woman or a beautiful man, he's presenting himself a certain way, or she's presenting herself a certain way. He could be going in foreclosure. He could be sick on the inside. That's the business part that we don't see.
Absolutely.
James Brown, he was doing the show part. He was having a good time. He was enjoying that. But really what would take him out of business is the business part, the money part. He didn't have any control of that. And oftentimes, we don't have control of the business part. You have somebody that said, listen, I can cook good. I make good ribs. I make good sweet potatoes. I think I want to go into business. But there's two components. That person only thinking about how good their food tastes. But that person don't know anything about the business part, about managing, about supply, about inventory, about employees, about accounting. Don't know any part. They just know they show part. So there again, even starting a business, you can't just start it because you got a good idea. You got to have the business part also.
Absolutely.
And that's where we fail. You can have an athlete, and all of a sudden you see the athlete not playing, but he's walking on the sideline like he looked like he's healthy.
Right.
That's the show part. That's what he's presenting. But his back or his ankle or his knees are hurting, or bruised or whatever.
So,
he got a fracture. You can't see that. So really, what's really important is the business part side of everything.
I agree.
Am I getting there?
I have a
Show
question
business.
for you.
Okay. Show business. Go ahead.
Is it possible to present the show part without even trying?
Well,
is it possible?
Soon as you walk out and somebody lays eyes on you, you presented the show
Then
part.
that's what you call in the show part.
Right.
Okay, then everybody has a show. Then you just walk out your house and everybody.
Lord,
has a
my
show.
prayers have been answered. That's the
There's
show
some
part.
people that intentionally do the show part.
Of course, people all the time do the show part.
And I'd like to make a differentiation between the show, because there's a heck of a lot of people. Just the fact that 78% of Americans are not prepared for retirement. But you will not be able to tell that by the consumer spending.
Now you
by
getting
the
it.
debt.
Now you starting to get it. I
I've
knew
been
I
getting
get
it.
you.
Very often I just don't say stuff.
Yeah,
and so I'm going to allow you to have
Born
this.
again, born again.
Yo.
She's starting to see the light. Okay, go ahead. Talk that talk, sister-in-law. Go ahead. Give me some more. Yeah, you on the right track.
Thank you so much.
I love it. Go ahead.
Thank you. Very often, though, it's easy to tell based on the number of savings and the people who can't come up with $5,000. I remember we had that conversation. That I would call the show part. But I think you're taking it a whole, pretty much literally, and saying just stepping out your house, whether you in rags or riches, whether you in designer, Louboutins, or flip-flops, it is still considered, in your opinion, the show part.
First of all, that's not my opinion. That is what it is.
According to,
As long as you have eyes and you can see.
I'm asking a question.
It's not an-
I don't like your tone.
Okay, but
Can
because
you answer?
because you like to always
This
say
is a
You
trial,
like-
and I'm asking, Your Honor, hostile witness.
Your Honor, she like when I come up with principles, metaphors, she likes to say that's my opinion because it's her safe house, so she can
Your
run and say
Honor,
this how I
please
feel.
direct the witness to answer the question.
It's not my opinion. It is what
May
it
I
is.
ask a question?
Okay, ask the question.
Are you defining the show part, whether that person has on Louboutins or flip-flops, designer clothing, or a potato set? However they come out the house, it is considered the show.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for answering my question.
Your presentation, what you present, is the show.
Okay. All right.
When James
And
Brown-
obviously that is like you said, if we all have a show, then whether it's.
Thank you.
I think I was
Can you say it
calling
again?
the show.
Can I hear it again? Don't go too fast. We all have a what?
If you define it that way,
Hold
we
on.
all have a
Stop
show.
all this if.
Well, you can't.
You sure you're not a GOP? you sure you're not the GOP, the
There's no
Republicans?
need to be rude.
Okay, that's not rude. We got a lot of Republicans as clients.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
That's not rude.
My bad.
You want to count the vote? I mean, you want me to define this? It is what it is.
Okay.
When you see someone, that's their show.
Okay.
I don't care if they're homeless or if they're,
I can accept that.
as long as you can see, you see them.
Okay.
That's the show. And oftentimes, matter of fact, it goes so deep you don't have to see them.
Can one?
You can hear them.
Okay.
Because people can manipulate you over the phone.
I think that
a blind person can manipulate you or be manipulated. So you don't have to really see them. It's a perception of what a person perceives.
Okay.
That's the show part. That's not really actual true or what's happening underlying in business.
Okay.
Because you can get a storefront and you can open up a store and have all the trappings and everything look good and you have inventory and you could be about to go out of business.
So the show, when you say a person is presenting a show, it's not a negative connotation in your mind. It just is what it is. They coming out the door. Even this poll that I see, that's his show part.
Yeah, that's the show part. I mean, you could have
all right. So we're taking it to this simplistic definition.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times people go and buy cars all the time, whether they get a Range Rover, and they want to get a Range Rover. That's the show part, because they want to look and they want to create this certain status. But the business part is when they get ready to go get that Range Rover tuned up, or it's time to do the maintenance every 6 months or 3 months.
I think some people purposely take the show part to another level, to where it hurts them financially, to where they're losing sleep, to where they're tapping into funds they shouldn't be, to where if somebody kidnapped their child and said, give me $5,000, they'd have to say, keep the baby. Some people take the show part. It's just too much.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah. Like James Brown was saying, he was out there sweating and doing the split and everything and working hard, and the people was loving him, and he was like, okay, where the money? And the man told him, don't worry about it. You the show. Just be the show. He no. The heart of everything is the business.
It's the business.
Let's say hello to our people here. All right. Let's say who we have first here.
Curtis Kegler, good morning. Hey, Jerome. June, how you doing, June? Brenda Brown, how you doing? Dorothy Davis and George Henderson. Angela Dowden, hello. Miss Redhead, hey. DeLawrence Moore. Joanne Jackson Witherspoon. Erica Owens, how you doing? Hey, June. Pamela Sylvain, hey, lady. Knights Young. Damian Nelson. Hey, Devaney. Jennifer. Tracy, good morning. Don Patterson, there's you and the representative of you. Yeah, that is so true.
Thank you, Don.
And unfortunately, too many of us women fall for representatives.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don.
Joe Witherspoon. Good morning, my brother Robert and Lynda. Love your character of distinguishing personality. Lynda, you are the form of awareness that brings in the wisdom thoughts of women. You are the form of expectations that add flavor and is the foundation. Yes, all that good stuff. Hey, Parnell.
What did Parnell say?
Parnell, Instagram is about show but never seeing the business. Amen. Amen. Hey, Terry Green, cousin Terry, Larissa, LOL, y'all hilarious. Larissa, get your boy, please. Rico Blondette, how you doing? Terry Green, Reich Blondette, how you doing? Catrice Hunt, how are you?
Yeah, but I'm glad you're starting to see the light. I knew you would.
First of all, I'm going to start shutting this down, because usually I let you go with,
you said it was my opinion.
Oh my God, you see the light. I see the light every time. Don't make it seem like I don't
color.
See the light.
You said,
ladies and gentlemen, we sit at our kitchen table now.
Hold on, you said it's your opinion, because she loves to get me on Robert. That's the way you see it. It's not my opinion. Now you see it's a fact. Everybody,
your interpretation is whether you walk out the door in Louboutins or flip-flops. It's the show. I simply got clarification on that, I agree.
My interpretation.
I was taking your words of show as the people we just talked about, like Parnell said, the Instagram people. That's the show part. But you were saying, let's break it down to its simplistic form, just walking out the door. So I got clarification. So all this see the light, y'all help me out. Usually I don't say nothing.
They saw what I saw. They saw what I saw.
They saw what I saw,
yeah,
too.
You sure you're not a GOP?
He's being rude again. Okay. Help me.
Right. So let's talk about this.
Yeah, okay.
The problem is, like James Brown was saying, I mean, look at our bodies, I mean, we care more about...
Please hit share on your Facebook page. Hit that share button.
I mean, we care more about the outer than the inner.
We do.
Men don't go get checkups, don't have physicals, That's the business part. That's what really keeps us ticking.
Absolutely.
We have to care about that. You know what I mean? And if you think about every aspect of your life, 90% of the time we focus on the show, but the business should be the number one focus.
It really should. It really should. I submit to you that if you handle that business part, the exterior, exterior will shine.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because it's nothing like having your house in order. I know when I'm like, ooh, okay, I need to get this done or that done, and there's something right back here, and I may not walk with my back straight. You know when you have your financial house in order, when there's nothing nagging you, when everything's working right, people in the right place, doing the right thing, you shine on the outside.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of people that's walking around and you think they're okay.
Yeah.
And then something happens and you find out they don't even have insurance.
Yeah.
They don't
Taking
have
up collections.
Taking up collection. I mean, it looked good.
And we're all shocked when that happens.
We are shocked. We're like, hey, where's the business part? Like
Insurance
James
man didn't
Brown
have
said.
insurance.
Right. So we died. Now we got to take up. She died, and now we got to take up a collection.
Yeah.
That is the business part. That's what James Brown was saying.
Yeah.
So when I watched that movie, I said, we're all in show business, and we really got to take care.
Are we on
both
Facebook
sides? Huh?
Are we on Facebook? Yeah, we on Facebook Live. How come I can't pull it up?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
But so I want you all to think about all aspects of your life. The business part is number one. It really, really is. Can anybody think of where there is not where show business doesn't apply, where the business part doesn't apply? I don't think anything. Can you?
No.
Anybody?
It applies. And you just have to handle the business part. I think that's number one. That's number one. Now, some people would say, Robert, dress the way for the part you want.
That's still show.
Or that's still show.
That's still show. I'm
Some
not
people
saying
call it
nothing
fake
wrong
it
with
till
that.
you make it.
But still, what is
not
the business
the good part of the show? Come and present and act like the job that you want, or even if you 85% qualified. Very often, men are 80% qualified, and they still say yes, I can do this job. And we women want to be 100% perfect. Maybe that's the show part as well. Just still say yes, I can do it, and get the job
why do you
and say,
say
Lord,
men
what am I
why
going to
you
do?
say men are what percent? They're not qualified. Most men are not qualified. Is that what you're saying? That's so
No.
sexist. I mean, oftentimes, men are really most of the time are victims because
Yeah,
you said yeah.
yeah. You guys have a lot on you.
No, but most time men are victims because men really go off emotions. See, a man can go through the drive-through of a fast food restaurant and see a pretty chick handing the food out and say, "What's your number?" Women not gonna do that. If women going through the drive-through and you at the Burger King or drive-through, she know you don't have no money. She not gonna say, "I want to talk to you." True or false?
True.
So men usually go off their emotions and they get her because she looks good.
She look good. That's
she
what
knows
it is.
it.
It's not emotions.
Her
it's
credit may be
physical.
jacked up, but men look at the show part. Oftentimes, a pretty little something, but her credit, or she might be like, a Lifetime movie character.
Oh my goodness.
She might have, done something and murdered her last husband, but he don't know that yet because he's too busy looking at the show part of what she's presenting. Women are really deep, really, really into that show part because you all have to present yourself. You have to look good. You guys go have surgery. It's not more women have surgery to surgery to get their breasts or their figures or whatever because that show part, and a lot of women die in an operating room because of the show part and not the business part.
This is true. So now let's define the business part. Now that we are somewhat on the same page, let's define the business part. Life insurance.
Yes. Life insurance, you
It's
can't really
huge
see that.
as far as getting your business together.
And how many people
Right,
can
you can't
say
really see that.
50% of Americans have life insurance, probably 40%. That is totally the business part.
That's the business part. An investment account outside of your employer's 401k or 457, right?
Yes.
That's the business part.
Right.
Making sure that you have proper insurance. And like you said, one of the things that just irks me is having auto insurance. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But that's something that you might as well. Yeah, I've never had a claim.
No?
You know that? Mm-mm.
I just had one after 20 years.
Did you?
Lynette says, question, what advice would you give to people, entrepreneurs, who believe this fake it till you make it? Is that good and wise? What do you think?
No, it's not good. That is, if you want to see your health deteriorate, you keep faking it out there, and it's so stressful. Faking it's very stressful. It can take a toll not only on you mentally but physically. Instead of faking it, just go and get the credentials.
Well, Lynette, let me break it down to
Okay.
you. It depends on the situation.
Okay.
I mean, let's say that you are a homeless person and you're going in for a job interview. Yeah, you don't want to present that you're homeless. You want to come in there, you want to go ahead and borrow somebody's clothes or whatever, and you want to present yourself. You want to fake it like you're not homeless. You want to fake it so you can go in there and act like, you're not homeless, so you can have a nice showing so you can get the job.
Okay.
That faking makes sense. In some situations, you do have to look the part. You have to fake it, and then, just to get the interview. But people take that too far. You don't want to take it too far where it's a detriment, where you're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Well, I find if you have to fake it very often, then something is wrong.
Well,
I mean, you shouldn't have to fake it on a daily basis.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. Like
Okay.
some people will go out and they will go and rent these massive big houses, and they would put on Facebook and say like that's theirs. Them renting that home is not going to bring them more money if they work for, the state or they work for the Fed or have a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
They buying this big home and they're going to get these cars. That has nothing to do to enhance their business.
Okay, okay.
I have a client, and he's in the entertainment field. And I remember we was in San Francisco, and everybody that knows me knows that I'm very frugal. I don't play about my money. I don't impress nobody. I take care of my business part, okay? Matter of fact, people laugh at me and say, Rob, most of my clients that know me, when we go out, I'm buying stuff on sale. And your sister, Natalie, is like that 1,000%,
Absolutely.
So to our friends and people that's around us, we're not really bragging about how much something costs. No, we brag about how we got a good deal on it. So this friend, we was in San Francisco, and we was riding bikes, as a matter of fact, because I like to ride bikes when I'm going to different cities. I like to do the bike tour.
Absolutely.
So we were there, and we were in a design district. And this guy is in the entertainment field, and he's really well known. And I had on some shades, and we all had on some shades. And he said, Rob, I got to buy some shades because I think the Grammy was coming up or something, And we went into this, I think, Prada shop. Where he had to have, $800 sunglasses. And I said, man, why would you go buy that? And he said, Rob, I can't do like what you do. Because when I'm at the Grammys and I'm around, he says, I have to present, because everybody going to know what type of glasses those are, what kind of shade, because everybody wearing them. He says one time he had to buy a $25,000 mink coat for him and his wife because he was going to an award show, and he said he only wore it one time. Because he has to present. So I'm saying, in terms of this fake it till you make it, it depends on what business and what are you trying to do. If you're going to fake it, it should be part of your business strategy.
So wait, so are you signing off on buying the $800 product because he was going to the Grammy? You signing off on the mink coats because he had to look that part around his peers?
Because what happens is, when you're in a certain business, they will I remember, and I'll never forget, when I was going to New York, this was 20 years ago, and I just deal with a whole lot of entertainment clients. That's why I found out, all that glitter and no gold. A lot of people who you see in the entertainment field, you look like they're making it. No, they're not. They're not. They leasing those homes, they're leasing those cars. When you look at the business part, they ain't got diddly squat. But they got this show business, and they have to keep this whole persona up.
Okay.
And I remember going to New York, and Heavy D, God bless him, he was alive, and his brother Floyd. They took me, with Floyd, and it was the other guy who was an attorney, who was an entertainment attorney. They was taking me into Motown to see the guy at the time was, his name was Guitar.
Okay.
And he was actually the head of Motown. And they wanted me to, him to see me and talk to me because they wanted me to start managing his money. So when I flew in from Miami, I had I think I packed 3 or 4 suits. Because I had to see a lot of entertainment clients. I was going to be there for a week. Okay. And I remember I used to buy those suits where you can get for $199. Full suit, $199. I would go get me any kind of cotton shirt from Marshalls, and I would get a matching tie. Okay. And I was good. Right. And I would have it pressed down, sent to the cleaners, and I was sharp, matching and everything. Right. And when I flew up there, and I said, okay, I'm ready to go. And I walked out there, and they seen me. They was in the living room because I was staying at Heavy D's parents' house. And when I came out and said, okay, ready to get in the car, go to the meeting, they looked me up and down and say, man, you're like, where you get that government suit from? It's like you work for the government. I said, what are you saying? He says, Rob, come on, man. Everybody up here, you know, when you into the entertainment field, they know what kind of suit that is. They know that is not a top-notch suit. I said, how do they know? It's a gray suit. They said, yeah, it look like you work for the government, or like a government suit too. So they took me to a little warehouse that looked like nothing on the outside in New York. You went inside, oh my God, it was a whole other city, a whole other world. And they had all these top-notch designer suits, Briones, you know, $4,000 and $5,000 suits. I'm like, why would I buy a $4,000 and $5,000 suit to put on and walk around? I couldn't understand. They say, Robert, if you come in with that $99 suit on, he's gonna look at you and he's not gonna want to do business with you. Just the head of Motown. See, now that right there, I didn't listen. The attorney said, Rob, I know you have the money. So this suit here that normally costs $2,000, we're getting it for $800. So I'm gonna put it on my credit card, Rob, and I'm gonna buy you this $800 suit because it usually costs $2,000. It was a Brioni, okay? And then he said, here's an Armani, okay? He said, this one right here was $2,700. He said, we got this one right here for $1,000. So you saving, you know, $1,700. So I was dying inside.
I know, I know you were.
I was dying inside.
What a story.
Yes, this is real life.
So now, I like quality clothing, but I like it on sale. And I very much believe in looking at a certain part, but I'd be darned if I'm going broke doing it.
Yeah, but see, I want you to get the point.
Okay.
The point at that moment, I was going to meet with the head of Motown.
Okay.
The head of Motown was an impeccable dresser. This guy looked
But you
up and
wouldn't
down.
consider faking it till you make it because you had the money.
But he didn't know me, Lynda.
No. What I'm saying to you,
He didn't know me. Only thing he knows is that Robert Henderson from Miami, and the people in New York look at Miami, oh, those country bunks down there, they work for the city, the county. They're not entrepreneurs. And it's New York or California,
you
Chicago,
weren't faking
Atlanta.
it till you make it. You
I
bought
wasn't.
those suits and you could afford to buy those suits. That's just not your character.
Right.
But the fake it till we make it part that I'm talking about is detrimental is when you really don't have the money.
No, but Lynette was saying, when is it ever appropriate?
A good time.
Is it good
Okay,
time for an
all right.
entrepreneur? So I'm telling you, you just don't have it. I had to get those. I didn't have to. I could have walked in there with that $199 suit.
But
let me tell you what happened. I got good advice. When I put that suit, that $4,000 Brioni suit on, that I paid, I think $900 for, and man, let me tell you something. I bought the cotton shirts. That's not find out if you want to go to cotton. Go get that polyester knit because they know because they into design. I had to get cufflinks. I used to have button up cufflinks. I mean, I had to get a nice tie. I bought all my.
That is a funny
My
story.
shoes is okay.
Okay, you got to pass on the shoes.
Okay, and one of them had bought me a Rolex watch. Can you believe that?
What?
Yes.
It was like that, Robert?
I used to go to Bayside, and I used to go to Bayside. You know the little trays, the $10 watches, $20 watches. They were pretty to me, so I would buy and say, "Oh, that looks nice." But you can't do that to people who really know
really
about
know.
watches.
They can look at
They
it
can
and-
look and say that's a costume.
So because you wanted to do business in that circle,
That's right.
you had to look the part.
So I put that on. This is real story. I put that
It's
on.
something.
No, I'm telling you. Well, listen, when I give you guys advice, it's not something I read or something I heard. I've went through it. I've
lived
done
it.
it. I've lived it. I've been doing this 37 years. I can tell you about show business all day long. I've actually lived it. I've been a victim of it, and I say, okay, they ain't gonna get me again. Let me show you. So when you come and ask me questions, I'm gonna tell you the truth and nothing but the truth, the whole truth. I'm not fresh out of high school. I've been doing this a long time. I'm gonna tell you. I ain't ashamed to tell you also. That's why I'll tell you my failures or my setbacks or the perceptions that I had because I want to help you. And you all that really can tell, you know when I'm telling the truth. So in this case right here, let me tell you what happened when I had that suit on.
Okay.
I walked into Motown. This little short guy, this guy used to run Motown. He probably was like, I'm 5'9". I think he was like 5'4". When I walked in, they introduced me and walked into his office. Know what he did, Lynda? That dude met my eye. First he met eyes, and I watched him. He went right down to my shoes, and he paying all white, and I'm watching him.
Really?
He went down to my shoes.
So he wasn't trying to hide it.
No. He went
my
down to my shoes. He came all the way up slowly. He looked, and you know what he said? When he got up to met my eyes, he says, really nice suit. I like that. Come on, let's sit down.
Wow.
And when he said that and he did that, I said, oh my God, their advice was right. They wasn't putting me on. They knew this guy. They worked with this guy, you know? I mean, he was dealing with Erica Badu. He was putting this stuff out. I mean, this guy was an impeccable dresser.
So I'd like to know your thoughts. Wait, Doretha Hall Bayside, I forgot about that. I'd like to know your thoughts on, because now there's a big movement, especially with rappers. I hear T.I. now saying stop buying designer stuff and go buy property. How did you feel when that happened to you?
Well, see,
like how I would feel like, how dare you? Why not judge me on my value, my knowledge, my success? But a lot of people can't get past the way you look, right? And that's why we have to present the show part.
People look at you because you talk to them, and because you're communicating with them on how you look. And
that
see,
is so true.
And it amazes me that you can have a school teacher who works in the system, and everybody knows school teacher. She's not a principal. Everybody knows she's a school teacher, and she's working 9 to 5. But she'll go and pull up in the parking lot with a fat Mercedes Benz.
Yeah.
So, Lynette, when you're saying, is that faking? And that, why are you faking and you're a school teacher? You know, you should have a Toyota, something that you can budget when you pull up to the school. Because why would you want to present that you have all this flow when everybody know you're on fixed income? Especially if you're a school teacher and you don't have a business or you're not doing something, you know? But if you're a school teacher and you're on fixed income and if you're not married, they know that you are, you know, you're not flowing with dough. So why would you want to go have a Range Rover? There's a lot of school teachers that have Range Rovers in the parking lot.
Not picking on the teachers.
No, I'm not, but
it's really true.
This is what you mean by faking it until you make it. That's not necessary.
So now I used to get pushback, especially when I first started in the financial services industry, that Lynda, to your point, you driving up and you got a, you know, Pathfinder or a Nissan Altima. When I first started, I'm talking in my 20s. Why don't you just go lease a luxury car? Because it's a better look. If you're in the financial services industry, people are going to say, well, you're not successful. Look at what you're driving. To me, I'm practical. I'm walking the walk and talking the talk. It's just me. I don't have to prove anything and drive a Jaguar Benz. You know what I mean? So that was something that I kind of almost struggled with. I think I bit the bullet one time and got a Benz. I had that white Benz. But for the most part, you know, I can get it, but I don't really.
So really, I
want to show.
You know, you to answer the next question, is it wise to fake it until you make it? It depends on what you're trying to accomplish, but it should be tied into business. You shouldn't be trying to fake it to make it just for your girlfriends. I mean, come on, because they're not going to be there to pay those bills. You know, I wasn't trying to fake it till I make it. I knew I didn't care about wearing a $4,000 suit.
You had the funds.
And I had, well, they know I have the funds. They knew that. But this guy who's just meeting me, and they say he was going to look at me up and down, and they were 100% right, the presentation. So in that case, case by case, the problem is that people in society are trying to fake it to their girlfriends and their homeboys. That has nothing to do with business. So you know, you're trying to show something, but for what? You know, so that's not really good. So to get back to what we were talking about in today's show is, everything that we do, there's two sides. There's a business side and there's a show side. 99% of us focus too much on the show and not the business. That happens a lot with your financial affairs. You want to look a certain way, but when we really pull back and lift up the hood, there's nothing there. You know, I mean, a lot of professional people, just because they have these titles, they have to have a boat and they have to have all these cars, but then when it's time to retire, then they don't have funds to retire on. You know, so it depends on, you know, and maybe they haven't been taught about the show part and the business part. You should be focusing on 90% on the business part, because that's going to keep you running. That's going to keep your life flowing. That's going to keep you happy, healthy. Because you can look good all outside, but inside, if you feel like crap, you're not going to present well. And then you can look good. You can say, "Oh my God!" I remember my wife Natalie a long time ago. We used to watch. She used to watch those shows that, you know, about prison and everything. And she would say, "Oh my God, she's so pretty." They were a prisoner. She would say that the lady,
an inmate.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She was saying she's so pretty. I said, Natalie, what I got to do with it? She said, how could she do that? She's so pretty. How could she commit that crime? She's so pretty. Or how could he commit that crime? He's so pretty. Because that's the show part. That's not the business part. You got to find out what's going on in a person's head. And everything that you do, from now on, I want you to start looking at the business part and the show part. I want you to say, do I really need this for the show? Or how is this going to help me business-wise?
Absolutely.
Everything. And then now the problem thing about investment, retirement planning, life insurance, annuities, retirements, you can't really show that. So that's why a lot of people are not
the business part.
That's the business part. A lot of people are not focused on that a whole lot.
Right.
Because they feel like the people don't see that.
Right.
But you need that.
They really focus on what the people can see.
They focus on what the people can see.
Yeah.
That's like saying you have a car. You're just going to keep the outside shiny and you're going to keep the rims,
I know.
but your motor is really bad.
And the inside is dirty. And just so, Mr. Financial Planner, should I put, based on your story, go ahead and get that luxury car, that convertible, that European car, to put on that image that I am successful, that I am not only a financial advisor and have money, but I'm also demonstrating?
Well, you don't have to do that. You can actually go and show them your real estate, your properties. You can show them that your investments. That's a show part. I like that show better.
Okay.
Now, if you're trying to, if you're trying to be a pimp or something, then that's different. I mean, but
No,
a pimp
I'm
ass-
not. No,
yeah,
I'm
but really show them your assets to let them see. You know,
And that's
tell
what
them
I
about.
focus
You know,
on.
yeah.
That's exactly what I focus on.
Yeah, you focus on what's you can tell them about a stock, or you can tell them about an investment. You can
Now,
tell them about property.
We're not saying, and at least I'm not, I don't want to put words in your mouth, that you shouldn't reward yourself at certain times in your life. When you have all the boxes checked, when you can afford it, when you have the business part set up. I mean, because we're here for a good time, not a long time. We got to take care of our business. If you have everything in order, I'm not saying don't go buy that luxury car or that boat.
No.
But you can't do it if
No.
you know your business is not taken care of.
Listen, when James
Right?
Brown said he wanted to learn about the business part, he still was doing the show.
Gotcha.
The show is important how you present yourself. And you don't want to walk around here like you homeless and you have money. You don't want to be like Howard Hughes. But you don't have to focus so much. The problem is that people haven't learned and they focus too much on the show part. The business is what's going to carry you and keep you healthy and keep you strong, you know?
Absolutely. So we talking business. We mentioned life insurance. We outside of your employers. We mentioned investment account outside of if you have a 401k or working for someone. If you're an entrepreneur and you just in business and you a businessman and you just have a business, but you have nothing to show for it, meaning the business part of it, you don't even have a self-directed 401k, you don't have a solo IR, you have nothing.
And what about a budget?
And definitely
A budget is like the engine.
You got to
I mean,
do the business part.
You got to run. Can you afford it?
Yeah.
And see, a lot of times when people say they want to go out and they want to go buy a Range Rover, or they want to go buy a Bentley, or they want to go buy, an 80,000 car, they don't have a budget. So they're just out there showing. But if you don't have a budget and you're out there showing, you can wind up broke, busted, and disgusted, A lot of things can happen. I mean, look what happened, this year, 2020, this
Oh, my
pandemic.
goodness, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, Ruby Tuesday right here in Miami Lakes just closed down for business.
Used to love their salads.
Yeah, I used to love Ruby Tuesday salads. And it's right 5 minutes away from my office. Now you can't go anywhere. You can't go there anymore because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So you have to have a budget. You have to be able to weather the storm. You have to have some money set aside and not just having all your money also locked up in a deferred compensation, the deferred comp or the Florida retirement or any type of retirement system. Because think about it. In 2026, Trump's tax cuts are going to expire. Now, if you have a pulse out there, if you're breathing, I'm not telling you what I think is going to happen.
Oof.
I'm not telling you what might happen. I'm telling you what is going to happen. 2026, taxes are going to go up. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm not telling you what might happen. I'm not telling you what I feel. I'm telling you what will happen. In 2026, Trump tax cuts. It was mainly for the rich, but the brackets all came down. Taxes are going to go up because the national debt is over $27 trillion. And right now, the stimulus that everybody needs, a lot of people need this stimulus. Hopefully they'll get it if Congress can get their act together.
I know.
That's going to add another couple of $1 trillion to the national debt. Now, what is $1 trillion? In case you all don't know. $1 trillion, Lynda, if I said $1, $2, $3, every second if I counted a dollar, $1, $2, $3, in order for me to get up to $1 trillion, $1, $2, $3, $4, to reach $1 trillion, it would take me 31,000 years. I'll be sitting up here in a skeleton. I'll be a skeleton of all my meat and still counting. It'd take 31,000 years to count to $1 trillion. Well, the U.S., the great U.S. of A., in terms of balancing, the national debt is over 27T with $1 trillion. So I'm not telling you, like I'm saying. So is it wise to keep deferring and paying your taxes now? Right now, taxes are very low. So you have up until December 31st. Since March 27, both sides, they had a partisan, and they got into Congress and they said, listen, we got to cut these people some slack. So in March 27 of this year, they said anyone that has any retirement accounts and you have maximum up to $100,000 that you can withdraw right now, pay the low taxes and reinvest it however you want to. But you have up until December 31st of this year. After that, you can't take the money out without getting a penalty and paying taxes.
And you can pay the taxes over 5 years?
3 years.
3 years.
So if you take up to $100,000, you call your employer and say, listen, it's called the CARES Act. Yeah. If you don't know how to do it, all you have to do is call our office. What the telephone number is?
305-825-1444. 305-825-1444.
You call our office and we'll do a 3-way conference call with you, and we'll call your employer and tell them about the CARES Act, and they should know about it, and you withdraw up to $100,000. If you don't have $100,000 and you have $50,000, if you have $20,000, get it out of jail. Because the reason why I say get it out of jail, because if you don't pay the taxes now, 5 years from now, when you get ready to retire to take the money out, you're going to pay a whole lot more taxes.
Now, don't get it out of jail and go spend it.
No.
Don't get it out of jail and be foolish. If you know you can't handle it, then don't do it.
Because a lot of people saying, listen, and some people, for some reason, I don't know, they lean on their own understanding. They're getting ready to retire in a year and 2 years. They actually put more money inside of the deferred comp. They're putting more money into their 401k. They put more money into their retirement accounts. You don't do that.
Yeah.
If you're getting ready to retire next year or 2 years, why would you put more money and have it locked up? Why would you do that? If you're going to save, just save it outside of that fund. Because remember, every time you put money, and you put so much money into a 401k plan or employer plan or with the county or the state, you can't access that money, especially if you're not 59 and a half. That means that money's got to stay there until you're 59 and a half. And then if you take it out before, you got a 10% penalty. Why not take it out, pay the taxes now? You can put it into a Roth. Or we can put it into an insurance strategy. There's so many things that you need to get good information from. Stop leaning on your own understanding, because this is not what you do. We do this all day long. Right, Lynda?
Absolutely. So I like what Alan Holder said. Show them the things that appreciate, not depreciate. I submit to you that if it does depreciate, that's the show part. If it's driving off the lot in that car, because what it says, depreciate 20% as soon as you drive it off the lot, that's the show part.
Yeah, a lot of people want to buy a brand new car. I never bought a brand new car.
Yeah, neither buy.
You want to buy it with the warranty still on it, you know?
Yeah.
But you can buy it 1 year, and 1 year or 2 years old. It might have 5,000 miles on it. Still, you still have that 100,000 mile warranty on it.
Absolutely.
And it still smells brand new. It depends on who had it, you know?
Yeah. If it's clothing that depreciates, I say that's the show part. You know what I mean? If it's designer, I don't know, purses, some people say, oh, it's an investment. Ooh, I think that's the show part.
Some people say purses are investment?
Oh, yeah.
Do they make money off purses?
I think they resell them and take them to the consignment store, but it still depreciates. That's the show
They don't get
part.
what they get what they paid for.
No. It does not appreciate, as opposed to, like you mentioned, real estate, equities, what else? Life insurance, which is tied to real estate. Some people even buy art that they say appreciate. I'm not that good yet to pick what artist and what picture. Some people say jewelry appreciates, a good quality diamond. Still waiting on that one for me because I won't get it. So yeah, I submit to you, if it depreciates, it's the show part.
Okay, all right.
Right?
Hey, Islam, how you doing, Islam, and Alan, and Denise, and Lily Mae Vickers? Oh, okay, Alan Holden. All right, Alan, you're spot on. Yeah, you do want to, invest in things that appreciate. But yeah, everything in our lives, I want you to, from now on, I want you to think about what I was talking about and what I said today in terms of show business. Every aspect of your life, there is two parts. There's the show and there's the business part of it,
Yeah. Even the mate you pick.
Oh, yeah.
You want a showy one? You want 6-pack, 6 figures, 6 feet, just a show? But his credit is Freddy Krueger.
But she don't know,
and
because
he got a piece of job.
But she don't want to ask because he looks so good. So
Right,
he don't want to
that's
ask
the show
her.
part.
He don't want to ask about. She don't want to ask about the business part.
I get women saying, I'm like, why don't you have a house yet? Well, I'm waiting on a husband. You want the husband before the house? Which one would depreciate quicker? The house or the husband?
Wow.
So, all right.
Depends on what kind of husband.
Oh, all right.
You're such a sexist. You're such a feminist,
The point is, some people even pick their mates based on the show.
So now
I say
agree
don't
with me.
sleep on the nerds. Don't sleep on the ones with the glasses. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you want glasses. Don't sleep on the ones that may not be all, Timberland down. And I need somebody with a little hood. And no, especially as we get older.
Yes.
It's okay that he don't have a tattoo and piercings.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on the nerds. Don't just go for the show.
So everything has a show in the business. If you want to go into a business, if you want to, I remember someone came in and said, listen, they want to open up a Subway. That was the show part. But I told them about the business, and you're only going to get about an 8% return.
By the time the franchise fees
Yeah,
and all
and we
that,
got investments that you can put right now and get 11% return when you don't have to worry about the bread, the employees, the ketchup, the patties, the regulators, the inspectors, the taxes. I mean, you can take your money now and put into this ETF that we have, and you make 11. Right now, it's 11.8%.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
11.8%. Talk about arbitrage. As a matter of fact, Hyacinth and Tavares is going to be talking about arbitrage on their show today. But to just give you a preview is you got to understand what arbitrage is. What it means is that you're buying something low. You're buying something low, or you're getting something for a low interest, and then you're borrowing. In other words, arbitrage is you can go to the bank if you got good credit, especially if you got 700 credits. Right now, you can go get a line of credit, and you can pull out $100,000. That may cost you 4%, 5%. So if it's 4%. $100,000, that means you're going to have to pay them $4,000 back in a year. But you don't take that $100,000 and go shopping. You actually use that money to make money. How do you do that? You bring the money to us. There's an ETF we can tell you about. It pays over 11% interest. So just 11% on $100,000, that's $11,000. So you borrow from one pot and you got to pay $4,000 for that $100,000, just the use of their $100,000. You got to pay them back $4,000, but you put it somewhere that's going to get you $11,000. So if it's going to get you $11,000 and you got to pay $4,000, that's 7% spread. So that's 7%. That's 7% of free money.
That's the
you
business.
Took their money
Yeah.
and put it over here,
Right.
and now you're getting $7,000 free. That's like $600 more a month, your cash flow. And you still have the $100,000. It's not your $100,000. You borrowed the $100,000 because you had good credit, and you took that $100,000 that you got to pay 4% on, which is $4,000 a year, and you just swapped it and put it over here, and now you're getting $11,000, which is $7,000 a year, which is really like $600 a month cash flow. So you're netting free money. That's how the rich get richer. They don't just do it on 100,000. They do it on 1 million, 10 million, 100 million. So they getting $60,000, $600,000 a month free just because they're rich. The more money you have, the more money you get.
Or they'll go take that money and loan it to somebody for hard money, lending at 12 or 13%. That's you know, I gotta think about that if I want to
Hard
get
money?
into that business.
Well, that's a lot of moving parts.
That's a lot of
You
moving
got to make
parts.
sure when you lend your money out to a human being,
Yeah.
But I'm not, because you got to deal with whether they're going to pay your money back. But here, you're playing chess. You're taking money from one bank and you put it into another investment portfolio.
You never have to talk to a human being.
You never have to talk to anybody. When you put that $100,000 into this ETF that I'm telling you about, that $600 a month, actually it'll be it's $11,000 a year. It shows up. They pay monthly. It shows up in your bank account every month like a Social Security check. It's just there. You ain't have to call us to send you the money. It automatically just goes to you. That is a fantastic strategy. That's called arbitrage. And you can do arbitrage on a whole lot of different business models.
Yeah.
So Hyacinth and Tavares is going to talk to you more about that today. At 9:15, James T. and myself, we're going to recap also.
Okay.
So, hey, I hope you guys learned something today, that there is, all of us are in show business. Would you agree with that? We're all in show business, Miss Harris?
Based on your definition.
No.
yes.
I just need a one answer. That's all. I'm going to say this again.
If you interpret it the way you described it, yes.
No if. I'm just going to say no if. All I want is just one answer.
We're all in the show.
Do you agree that each and every one of us are in show business?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Oh my God. I was
You
like
are
pulling
welcome.
teeth. Thank you. All that if and all that. We're all in show business. Now, you don't have to have a business to be in show business. You in show business with yourself. You could be a custodian at the school. You are in show business. What you're showing and your personal business, what you present to the world, and how you handling your personal business, your finance. You could be out there, dressed up in a nice designer sneaker shoes out there and be a custodian, but your business could be a wreck. So you have to take care of both. And I would really advise you to really look like James Brown, take control and be part of that business.
Absolutely. Give us a call, questions, comments, consultations. We can do it over Zoom, 305-825-1444, 305-825-1444. Brenda Moore, good morning. Islande Gruber, good morning. Yes, to a certain degree. I agree with you. Show them the
That's
things that
Islam.
appreciate.
Islam. Mike, where you at? Mike, Islam's addicts. You don't see it, Mike. Mike Gruber, please help your wife. Boy, Islam, you blessed with Mike, boy, I tell you that.
Well, one thing I can say is people that are handling their business, we can sniff out the ones that are just show.
Yes.
And not business.
Yes.
It eventually oozes out and comes out. You ask a series of questions and you kind of know based on the answer that this is all show.
Yes.
Yeah, it comes out real easy. So please handle your business part. Great presentation, guys. Rob, Lynda's just being difficult today. Patrick Harris. No, I'm not, Patrick.
Patrick, I promise
I
you.
am not being difficult.
She's not being difficult today. She's difficult like this ever since I've known her. That's why Lynda and I talk like this all the time. If I say
just
blue,
gotta
she
get
says Robert. She said,
clarification.
Robert, that's your interpretation if it's blue, I mean, really, Islam said Mike's at work. Well, I'm going to text him and tell him to watch this show, all right? Because this is Facebook, so we want you to share what we talked about. Because,
Absolutely.
Islam, even though Mike's at work, and we're on Facebook, it's going to stay up forever. So you can always go back and share with him. I'm going to text him and tell him that I mentioned his name on the show and what you said also.
Absolutely.
Okay. Hey, Jerome McMillan. Hey, man, I tell you, Jerome, fantastic. Jerome, I got to call you so I can send you some books and get your address, okay? I got to call you. I'll call you after the show later today. So I'm going to send you some of my books so you can sell them up there. Jerome McMillan's a good friend of mine. I've been knowing him 20 years, and he is fantastic. He has the Black Bookstore, and it is fantastic. A lot of great titles that you all want to really cater to his business, especially during these holiday season.
Yeah.
All right? All right. Well, listen, we got to go. We're past time. Hey, love, peace, happiness. Have a great weekend.
day.
Be safe and wear your mask.
Absolutely.